All right, so we're going to go through test paper 3 right now, and we're going to start with part A. And I'm going to begin with this. It shows you the difficulty of the questions. So really the challenging questions are going to be towards the back, like here. Question 20, 21, those are going to be very difficult. For question 20, you have to find the right word, then put it in the correct form. And then 21, they don't tell you exactly what the answer is. You have to guess or infer what it means. So those are the most challenging. But here you can see where we are. So we're going to go through this. Some students wanted extra help on certain questions, so I'm going to spend extra time on them. And if not, if I didn't have a question asked about, then I'm going to go through it a bit faster. Okay, so which one of the Hong Kong's police force, what is one of the Hong Kong police force's secret weapons? When you say secret weapon, that doesn't necessarily mean a weapon like a gun or a sword. It just means a tool, a secret weapon. In sports, your best player could be a secret weapon if the other team doesn't know about it because it's a secret. So this is actually in the introduction, the octopus card. That's what the whole passage is about. The text focuses on the use of octopus cards to what? Well, it says that it can give vital clues to identify the culprits. Let's look at that. It can give vital clues to identify the culprits. Now, vital, that just means very important, to identify the culprits. Culprits means the bad guys. So let's look at this. What do you think the answer is going to be right here? It is going to be D. Hunt down means to search for somebody. Doesn't necessarily mean to hunt like you would hunt an animal. All right, moving on. Question 3. Octopus cards help police track criminals. Track means to follow. That is definitely true. Octopus cards give clues to the identity of criminals. That is also definitely true. Octopus cards are similar to the Shenzhen Tong smart cards. Well, was that in the passage? It was not given. What does both sides of the border mean? Well, we've been talking about that a lot in the news with the coronavirus lately. That would be the border between mainland China and Hong Kong, or you can say Shenzhen. The land border. So, for example, with Macau, that would not count because we have a bridge that connects us, but that doesn't count. Or the airport, that could also, in a sense, it's a port of entry, but when they're talking about the border, almost always they're talking about the land border with Shenzhen. Number 5, which word in paragraph 1 means criminals? Well, that was one that we looked at question 2 right here. And it's going to be in this part right here. The card can give vital clues to the identity of culprits, even when there's no eyewitnesses or fingerprints at the crime scene. So this would be culprit. Already said that. Okay. Or you could also have crooks, which means the same thing. Which sentence or phrase tells the reader that Hong Kong has no power to legally obtain data on criminal activities across the border? It's going to be right here. But we will have to seek from mainland public security officers because we cannot exercise jurisdiction on the mainland. Jurisdiction means authority, that the police can go and do work. It's the same reason that, let's say, the American police cannot come here and do things, or the Hong Kong police cannot go to America and do things. They don't have jurisdiction. Look through paragraph 1 of the text for words or expressions to match these definitions. All right, well, this one is going to be in line 6. What's a word that means to find somebody by looking for evidence to show where he or she had gone? It's going to be track crooks. A person who is very experienced or skilled. That's right, in this area. Logically, this will work. A veteran police officer said. Veteran is going to be the answer. Veteran, that's what it means, skilled. You might also see people who were in the Army. They're called veterans. Even in sports, a player who's played for a long time is called a veteran. Eight, what is the similarity between the octopus card and GPS? It's going to be in this area. Officers say the card is like a global positioning system, GPS, that's what it stands for, because the data can tell when and where its holder uses it. Ah, okay. They say when and where, or right here they use the words time and location. So they change the words around a little bit. So if you put where they are, as they have in the second question, that is also correct. But as this module has shown us, it's really good to have different ways to say the same thing. According to paragraph 2, why is it easier to trace a cardholder if his or her card is personalized? And this one is a pretty easy question because you have extra information. If you don't personalize your card, then it's anonymous, meaning there's no information on it. But if you have a special smart card or an octopus card which is built into something or it looks different, you had to go to the octopus company, they would know, oh, this is Sean Kane. You did it. Which of the following things is false? I always suggest when you're looking at a question, if you find absolutes like all, never, every, none, those can really help you. So for example, right here, every octopus card stores the user's name and address. Well, we just said that if it's personalized, it'll have your username and address, but most cards are not personalized. So that is going to definitely be B. Okay, which of these true, false, not given? The main part of this, the main reason of this article is that it does give an important clue. Again, that's what vital means, so yes. The acid tracker has not been caught. Well, they talk about that, line 27 to 29. So let's go there, 27 to 29. Once such a link is confirmed, police can use it as a clue to track and identify its holder, even if it is not a personalized card. This was how they tracked down a suspect in a Causeway Bay acid attack who was arrested last month. All right, so he was arrested last month. That's the important thing right here. And the question, the acid attacker has not been caught. Well, underline, highlight the word not, because that's the challenging part of this question. If you miss this one, it's probably because you could have found that part of the answer that the person was arrested, but when the question is asking for not, they're just trying to make it a little bit more difficult. So I do suggest when you take these tests to highlight or just remind you that they're looking for not. Most octopus cards are personalized. Well, I just told you most aren't, but they don't give you any numbers. And this one is not given. All right, this next question I had some questions on. So what is the purpose of paragraph 3? Let's go look at paragraph 3. Okay, so octopus cards help people solve crime. That is the main idea of the story, how octopus cards are good. So let's read right here. Evidence such as a receipt for a convenience store purchase left behind at a crime scene can link a card to a suspect. Once such a link is confirmed, police can use it as a clue to track and identify its holder, even if it is not a personalized card. And then they're going to go into more about how they were able to find somebody. So again, the main idea here is that octopus cards help police solve crime. And then here, they are giving an example to show us how octopus cards will help them solve crime. So that is the point, to explain how octopus cards help solve crime. This one is, they don't say it exactly. It's something that you have to imply. Take, for example, if I showed the class numbers that show the amount you study helps your grades. If you study more, you will do better. What is the purpose of that? Well, the purpose is for you guys to realize the importance of studying. I'm not telling you this is the importance of studying. I'm just showing you numbers. Similar way here for this question. And then here is going to be more details on it. According to paragraph 3, the police rely on to track down the criminal. What do they rely on to track down the criminal? This is how they track down a suspect in a Causeway Bay acid attack who was arrested last month. Together with the card data, police use other tools such as closed-circuit TV, that's also CCTV footage, at convenience stores, supermarkets, and MTR stations. Okay. So they definitely use octopus cards. That's the whole point of this article. But they also use CCTV footage along with it. So that's going to be D. They will use an eyewitness account. That just means a person who saw it. An eyewitness would be a person who was there. But that is not in paragraph 3. What is they in line 28? Actually, that is a mistake, I realized. It should be line 27. Let's look at that. Right here. This was how they tracked down a suspect in a Causeway Bay acid attack who was arrested last month. So this was a printing mistake. Who is they? Well, that's going to be the police. Number the following events in chronological order. Okay, so in sequence, think you guys were able to get that probably. Most of you do pretty well with sequencing. Just remember chronological order. The thing that happened first goes first. The thing that happens last, this is the most recent, comes in last. It's important. Sometimes they say reverse chronological, but that's an important word to know. They ask that. They use this word a lot in a test, so please try to remember that. 16. Name 3 cases that were solved. This is a few facts that were in the reading. They did cover that. The Causeway Bay acid attack, the murder or abandonment. Abandon means to leave alone, to just drop off somewhere. A newborn baby girl at North Point, and the killing of 2 prostitutes in To Ka Wan. What are the possible problems of using octopus cards to solve crime? Now they don't, again, this is something that they don't say directly, that this is the hard part of using it, but I always suggest when you're reading, they're going to give you an article like this, and it's just in a very easy way to think about it, how octopus cards are good. So most of this is going to just be agreeing. So what you might do is, if you find a paragraph that is talking about how this is not good, put a little minus beside it. So plus means the agree, 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 and the minus means against it. Most of the tests you'll have will only give you 2 sides of the story. So if you can separate it your first time reading, so you put like plus, 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 it will help you later when you go through it. And the parts when they're saying how they're not good is going to be right here. Checking the card data is not free of charge. So they don't say directly this is a negative thing, but they just say it's not free, even for police. The officer said it was not cheap to get the printouts of the card's transaction records. Each printout contains about 50 transaction records and costs a few dollars. In one case, we may need to check and analyze a massive amount of transaction records. It's relatively expensive. Every octopus card contains a chip that stores its outstanding balance and transaction records. Each card has its own serial number for identification. At present, there are more than 220 million octopus cards in circulation in Hong Kong, which has a population of more than 7 million. A lot of cards. Painstaking detective work and hard work by our officers is vital. The veteran officer who has been involved in crime investigation for more than 20 years said. Okay. So, what is the problem about using an octopus card to solve crime? Well, your first one is what we already highlighted in this part. It's not free, it's not cheap, you could say it's expensive. So that would definitely be one thing. And then here it says that there's a ton of cards, but even better would be this part right here where it says hard work done by the officers are vital. And so that just means that it takes a lot of work. You get so much information. How do you find what information is useful? That takes a lot of time. So not cheap, it's expensive. And then the other one right here, it takes a lot of time. Painstaking, which is going to be mentioned later. That just means it's very difficult. A lot of effort, very thorough, detailed. Okay. So again, it's expensive and there's so much information. How do you find it? Like if you're looking on the internet for something, it can be hard that you have so much information. What's good information? What's bad information? It's hard to figure it out sometimes. Okay, 18. Which word is used to imply that the work of officers in looking for clues is careful and thorough? Well, another thing that you should be aware of is that the questions are going in order. You know, they're not going to ask you to go back to paragraph 1 right here. So even though this question doesn't say where it is, it's going to probably be in around the same area that we were at. And actually, I already mentioned that this is coming up again right in here. Painstaking detective work. So you can tell that this is an adjective. Even though it ends in ing, I know that's difficult. But this is yes, it's an adjective that is describing the work. So again, it means detailed, very thorough. Painstaking. Okay. This is a more advanced question. Not paid is a very simple way that you can say something. But like we've been going over for the last couple of weeks, try to find other ways to say something. Like if we were to say something is paid, you could say fulfilled. The order has been fulfilled. That also means it's finished, finalized. But not paid. What's a word that is describing that? Line 79. And again, they go in order. So we just had a question that was in this area. Even though painstaking comes in paragraph 11, it's going to be in the same rough area, plus or minus a paragraph. So you don't have to go back to the beginning. You want to continue to look in the same area. And that's where this is going to be. Every octopus card contains a chip that stores its outstanding balance. Balance just means how much money. And outstanding means money that's left. And outstanding balance can mean not paid. This is actually a question that I don't like the book here because an outstanding balance just means the money you have left. So yeah, this question is poorly written. Outstanding does mean not paid. Outstanding balance, like if I have an outstanding balance at the store, that just means I owe them money. But here, if in your octopus card, if you can have a negative balance, but outstanding balance just means how much money you've got left right here. So this one is worded odd, but again, it's a phrase that does mean, it means multiple things, and it can mean not paid. Going to outstanding. Okay. Now, important here, one word each time. And so this is one of the very hard questions. You need to make sure that you get the correct grammar in there. Okay, so first one can help or do we also, okay. So in paragraph 1, lines 1 to 3, these are the suggested changes. Octopus cards can help the police identify. All right. Paragraph 4. If the image of a suspect is not, what is a word that, if somebody means to grab you, that can mean capture, but also if you are captured on film, that just means that you were on the video. So it's not in paragraph 4, you're going to have the word capture, but it's very important that you put it into the past tense. It's not captured by the police. By the what cameras? So in these lines right here, it's going to be security or surveillance. I'll put the suggested or the help in the PDF that I'm going to send out in just a minute. Police can go the transaction records. They can go through. That just means to read. I go through your writing, for example. That means I read it. I go over your writing, I read it. Using similar tactics, a case involving the what? The murder or killing of a newborn baby was, this has to be past tense, so make sure you have solved past tense. Right here, while the Octopus card management value the importance of the privacy of the customer's data, they provide the information to the police. Well, will, must, or should would all work in these lines right here. You will find those. All of them would work. Could would not work. Could just means they are able to. If you were thinking that, or if you put that, it must be should. 21. What does the spokeswoman, that just means the person speaking for the Octopus Card Management Company, imply about the cardholder's personal data? So right here, they kind of talk about it. While the Octopus Card Management value the importance of the privacy of their customers' data, they must provide information to the police. So while the data is very private, it is not 100% private. If the police think that you did something, they can get the information. 22. So 2 of these are going to be true. Tick 2. So that's going to be 2 and 4. This is inference. Going to be a little bit more difficult. Moral just means, like, is it right or wrong? Not legal. Morals would be more of, is it okay if somebody drops their money, morally you should tell them and help them. But if you don't, you're not going to be in trouble. It's just the right thing to do. Okay, and then finishing up. Do you think octopus cards can help the police solve crime? Provide evidence from the text to support your answer. Well, the whole text, except for about 3 paragraphs, is talking about how it can help solve crime. And then it goes back to some of the points that were mentioned earlier in the questions. So yeah, it helped them with the acid attack. There were other things as well, like one of the questions was 3 cases, so you could put any of those cases, tells the police where they are. You don't want to put that, if you put something like it is cheap, it is easy, you would be wrong, because it is not cheap, it costs money for the police, and it's not easy. Remember, it's painstaking, it takes a lot of time because they have so much information. So if you take anything from the plus paragraphs, like I said, again, all of it basically is saying how it's very good. Right here, paragraphs 9, 10, and 11 talk about the challenge, how it's hard. So I might put minus, 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 just to remind me that this is talking about the difficulty, but you can really take any information from this part, and when you're answering this question, try to give different evidence. Like for here, if you just put all three of the cases, or I'm sorry, all the cases that they did, but you didn't put, for example, everyone has an octopus card, that's not good. They want a variety of answers. They want things that are not the same. So I hope that helped, and have a great day.